Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019 meeting of the Middleton Board of Selectmen. I'd like to remind people in the audience, by sitting in the audience, you agree to have your picture taken by the local cable channel, and if you speak, your voice will be recorded. So by staying in this room, you assent to that by just your actions. Our agenda item first is the warrant, and we have Tanya doing it tonight, stepping in for Andy.
Thank you. Andy, our town administrator, is away at a conference, so thank you for having me. In front of you, you have warrant number 2009. The payroll total on that warrant is $672,205, and the bills payable is $1,118,159. A few highlights in there are $11,588 for the master design of the golf course property. The DPW had some expenses, $55,948 for paving, $14,419 for waste disposal, and $7,066 for a guardrail. We can also see there Middleton's share of salary payback. That's the portion of money that's expended at the beginning of the school year. That was $71,221, and $314,000 expended for health insurance. It says deductions on there, but that is just a health insurance cost. So Sarah Wood has reviewed this and asks for the board's approval.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
Move to accept as presented.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. Passes unanimously. Well, we have some minutes. Did we not have the executive session minutes? Or did we, is it?
No, yeah, I'm not sure why that's still on the agenda.
Okay, so we have the minutes of October 8th, 2019. Do I have a motion regarding those?
Move to accept as presented.
I have a motion to accept. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, passes unanimously. The Assistant Town Administrator report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Okay, a few items to let you know about this week. First of all, our new Council on Aging Director, Jillian Smith, started last week. There was a reception brunch, well attended for her, and she is already making changes that are getting a very positive reception over there. So we're excited to have her on board. We'll talk about the special town meeting in a little while, but a couple of things before we get there. The town meeting warrant has been posted to the website and will be mailed to homes a little later this week. And Andy will hold his usual pre-town meeting at the Fuller Meadow Library on Wednesday, October 30th at 6:30 p.m. to review the special town meeting warrant and answer any questions residents may have. And since the special town meeting is on November 5th, we will not have a Board of Selectmen meeting that night. That means our November 19th meeting will likely be a full agenda. And included in that agenda will be a visit from Kate Federoff, our labor counsel for the town, who along with me will discuss some possible changes to our personnel bylaw, the creation of an employee handbook, and related human resource items. A reminder of the numerous events happening this Saturday, October 26th, so get your calendars out. There's a free flu clinic for Middleton residents from 9 a.m. to noon at the Howe Manning Cafeteria. There's also a household hazardous waste collection from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Masconomet Regional High School parking lot. This is a regional event for residents of Middleton, Boxford, and Topsfield, so it's a good idea to get there early. Also, there is a brush collection event at the transfer station from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and you must have a transfer station sticker in order to dump brush. And finally, if that wasn't enough fun for the day, the annual Pumpkin Festival is on October 26th. For more information for all these events, you can look at the town's website. The master planning process for the development of the municipal complex at 105 South Main Street is continuing. The Master Development Planning Committee and HKT Architects meet again tomorrow night to review space programming and initial analysis of the property. There's a community planning charrette on Saturday, November 16th. This is an opportunity to share ideas and desires for the layout of the property. All meeting dates and other relevant information are on the project website accessed via the town's homepage. An update on the culvert replacement project at North Liberty Street. It's progressing. The contractor expects to install the precast concrete culvert around the third week in November. And the contractor expects to finish the work and reopen the bridge to traffic around the middle of December. And a reminder that hydrant flushing has started and will continue until November 14th. This can result in discolored water, and if this happens, run the cold water tap or outside faucet until it runs clear. And that is all for me, Mr. Chairman.
Great. I'd just like to elucidate on the hazardous waste disposal. It's at Masconomet. This is not just a Middleton thing, it's the 3 towns. So you would need to bring your registration. They're going to look at your registration to make sure you're from one of the 3 towns. So if you load your car up with oil-based paint or old propane tanks or whatever, just make sure you bring your registration to bring that in, because you have to prove you're a resident of one of the 3 towns. And you wouldn't want to head all the way up there and have them turn you away. All right, do we have any questions for this town manager? No? All right, we have started, this is going to be our first night, we've started something new for the Board of Selectmen here, is that we're going to have a public comment period. So every meeting, we are going to allow anybody to come up if they sign up. We're limited in time and space, so it would be the first come, first serve. And you'll get 2 minutes to just talk about anything you want. Now, this is not a conversation. So we will not be responding to questions. We will not be changing with the person. The person can up, and you can get up and say anything you want. You can say, hey, you know what? I've lived on this street for 20 years, and they do a lousy job of plowing my street. You can come up and say, hey, really, like tonight, we might be saying, hey, I really appreciate the fire department. You can come up and say anything you want, as long as it's, within bounds of reason and decency. But it's just a chance that a lot of people say they're afraid to bring something up, and so it's their chance to just get up and make a statement. So tonight's our first night. And we're going to see how it goes. And no, just a sec. All right.
Got to sign in first.
Anytime I do public speaking, the first thing I always tell anybody is just remember that if anybody's phone goes off, they have to buy the first round. So just remember that when you're. So right now we have one person, Teresa Bono. If you'd like to come up, Teresa, and start it all off. Thank you for coming in and signing up. And what basically will happen, I don't think you'll be too verbose, is I'll time it, and when it gets 2 minutes, I'll just tap it, and then you can stop talking.
I'm not going to be verbose.
Whatever,
you have much more important things to do.
You are our test case, so we're happy to have you here.
Teresa Bono, 25 Dixie Drive. I'm actually here to thank you for implementing this public comment period. It was actually something that Costa and I had spoken about a few citizen feedback sessions ago, and I think it's a great opportunity, like you said, for citizens to come in. It can be ideas, it can be, a did you know kind of thing. Sometimes it's grievances, but I think it's a great way to have good communication between, the community and the boards. So thank you.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much. And yes, this was kind of stolen from Costa's idea of meeting with the people, and we thought it was such a good idea that we thought maybe people could talk to the whole thing.
Actually,
come on.
If the other boards could do it as well, that would be great, because I know the school committees do it, I know the Board of Assessors do it, and now you guys, but I think for all boards, it's an important aspect of the agenda.
Great.
So, thank you.
Well, thank you for being the first person. All right, we're going to go to our next agenda item, which is, we get fun ones, so we like good ones. We're going to recognize the Middleton firefighters, conferred Firefighter of the Year awards, and we're going to have Chief Martinek come up, and he will do the whole presentation. Chief.
While they're getting set up, I'll explain why. Across here. So, while they're getting set up, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Tom Roddick, I'm the fire chief here in town. Why we're here tonight is, each year, the Department of Fire Services, under the Office of Public Safety, does a Firefighter of the Year award. And it's usually held in Worcester at the Mechanic Hall. This year, I nominated, we're missing 3 people. One had a family emergency, the other 2 couldn't make it. But I nominated these guys for the Firefighter of the Year award for their actions last September 13th, 2018 in North Andover, or the Merrimack Valley gas explosions. Middleton sent 2 pumps to North Andover to help with the giant situation that was up there. Captain Lacoste and his crew and Lieutenant Larry and his crew went to 2 different houses in North Andover by themselves with a crew, with crew of 3 and crew of 4, and fought these fires, gas fed obviously from the emergency. And they weren't easy fires. They were basement fires, which are probably the hardest fires you can fight because they're below grade. You can't see your hand in front of your face. There's, people have stuff in the basements that are in the way and whatnot. And these guys did, on a normal situation like that, we have 15 to 20 firefighters at minimum to take care of a situation like that. These guys did it by themselves. So I thought it was fitting to nominate them for this award. Unfortunately, because of the scope of the emergency, the committee, you have to meet in front of the committee after you nominate them, couldn't recognize every single person that acted in that situation. So I'll read the letter they sent me, and then I'll explain why. It says, Chief Martinook, dear Chief Martinook, thank you for taking the time to nominate, and I'll name everyone, Captain Douglas Lacoste, Lieutenant David Leary, Lieutenant Danny Kessel, Firefighter David Carlson, Firefighter David Tebow, Firefighter Eric Boya, Firefighter Dennis Ring, and Firefighter Nick Martone from North Andover. I'll explain that in a minute. For the 30th Annual Firefighter of the Year Award. The Heroic Awards Committee was impressed by the work of your firefighters, and we commend and acknowledge the outstanding performance and commitment that led you to nominate them. Although they have not been chosen to receive an award at the ceremony, we extend our gratitude for their selfless work and commitment to the residents of Middleton. Please deliver the letters that they have enclosed to them. And the ceremony is November 26th at 10 a.m. at the Mechanics Hall in Worcester, which they're going to recognize everyone that responded to that emergency. But I thought it was fitting that these guys needed something for each of them to be recognized for what they did. So I'm going to read, I'll explain why Nick's here. Firefighter Nick Martone from North Andover, a year ago, was attending the fire academy in Stowe. We were at 2 locations. Lieutenant Larry was on, hold on, I'll get the address. East Water Street, thank you. And Captain Lacoste and his crew was on Green Street. The Green Street call that we were at is actually a North Andover select person's home, who actually, Rosemary Smadia is here with us tonight. The fire chief actually told her about it, and she wanted to come because she was impressed with what we did. And Chief William McCarthy's in the back. He's the chief of the North Andover Fire Department. So Nick, we were there, and the guys going in and out of the house, changing their bottles, trying to put the fire out. And Nick walks up and says, "I'm a North Andover firefighter. My name's Nick Martone. Can I help?" I said, "You know how to run a pump?" He says, "Yep." I said, "Here you go. Here's your radio. Run the pump," and that freed up another guy to go in the house. So he was a huge help that day to us because, like everything else, everyone came together and pitched in. So I thought it was right to recognize him also. So I'm going to read his letter first because it's a little different than the other guys. I'll read his letter that the executive secretary sent. Dear Firefighter Martone, your outstanding performance as a member of the North Andover Fire Department has been brought to the attention of the Firefighter of the Year Awards Heroic Awards Committee by your superiors. I am pleased to express my thanks for your selfless service. The committee commends the outstanding conduct that led to your nomination for a prestigious Firefighter of the Year Award. Although it is not possible to include each nominee in the annual ceremony, we thank you for your invaluable work on behalf of the residents of North Andover and Middleton and the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Your work shows that you're an exceptional and devoted member of the fire safety community. So that was Nick's. The ones for all my guys, just gotta change the name, but basically it goes, your outstanding performance as a member of the Middleton Fire Department has been brought to the attention of the Firefighter of the Year Awards Heroic Awards Committee by your superiors. I am pleased to express my thanks for your selfless service. The committee commends the outstanding conduct that led to your nomination for a prestigious Firefighter of the Year Award. Although it's not possible to include each nominee in the annual ceremony, we thank you for your valuable work on behalf of the residents of Middleton and the citizens of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Your work shows that you are an exceptional and devoted member of the fire safety community. So, we also like to mention the dispatchers that day did an outstanding job. If it wasn't for our mutual aid partners, works both ways with us going North Andover, North Andover comes to us, North Reading and Danvers. We all work together. And, you know, it's everyone came together and did a great job, and obviously Rosemary's here tonight and her husband is here because they are very grateful of what we did and what I didn't do anything. The guys did all the work. So, you know, they say it takes a village, and I'm blessed to have the village that I have with my guys, every single one of them, not just these guys, but the guys in the back, everyone that works in the department. You know, the support of the people of the town, the support of the selectmen, the finance committee, and all the boards. So it's, you know, everyone comes together, and unfortunately, you know, something like this happens. Hopefully, I'll never see it again, but, you know, these guys did an outstanding job. So what I did is I got these awards for them. The letter I read is in here, and there's a letter from me also. So each person, so, you know, to the statue, it says, the Middleton Fire Department wishes to recognize your outstanding performance, commitment, and bravery during the Merrimack Valley gas incident, September 13th, 2018. And each person's name's on the bottom. The other David. And Nick. Just a couple of statistics that I thought was interesting. At the last count, they're trying to, I've never seen, and Frankie, Chief Tourist will probably agree with me, I've never seen in my 32 years this many, the amount of fire apparatus and equipment that were up there in Lawrence and the Merrimack Valley. The last count, they had they figured they had 160 plus engine companies and 60 plus ladder companies up there. So that was quite a bit. So. I'd like to thank these guys, thank everyone, and thank them for the great work. And thank you guys for letting us come in tonight.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Mrs.
Fellow selectmen of another community, it's hard for me not to get emotional. These gentlemen fought with such fervor. You would have been so proud of them. They were running in and out of our house, and one behind them changing the tanks, going into an inferno of heat in the basement that their tanks didn't even last that long. I think it speaks so highly of the town of Middleton and our firefighter from North Andover, mutual aid. I cannot say enough about it. Anyone ever asks you about mutual aid, believe me, it was worth every bit of training and organization. We are so indebted to them. By this much, we saved our house from a total loss. We pretty much lost everything inside, but we saved our frame. And the irony, which makes it a little bit emotional for me today, is we're starting to move in tomorrow. So They were, not only that, they were gentlemen, they were kind, they always had just a polite, calming way about them. And the one who we didn't speak about, and I drove him a little bit crazy, was the chief. They were on that scene and they fought that fire like it was their own home. And every once in a while, I'd ask, can we save it? And he would say, not there yet. But again, the kindness, and then they took us into the house afterwards, just to kind of understand what was going on. So my family is unbelievably indebted to all of you. And I don't cry about the loss of my house, even though we're very sad. I've yet to cry, believe it or not. But I cry about these guys, all of them, not just from Middleton. I do. They put it all on the line for us, and we are so truly grateful. So to the citizens of Middleton, you should be very proud of them and your chief, and thank you for the opportunity on behalf of my husband and my 3 sons. And I'm going to do one more thing that mothers of boys can do. I only have 3 sons. I'm going to hug all these guys. No, you guys were at the other house. That's okay. And our chief as well. He's the best too.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
You can come to us
All righty. Feel free to leave if you're a member with them. I'm sure you have some celebrating to do. All right, our next agenda item is the Cable Television Advisory Committee to discuss recommendations for broadcasting and streaming of meetings. John Erickson.
That would be me. So I hope in your packet you have there's a 3-page thing that I put together. The Cable TV Advisory Committee, which met to go over the contract terms that are currently being renewed with the cable TV companies in town. We also took the opportunity to address the videography of the various meetings of the boards and committees in town. It seems to be a hot topic in town anyway. So what we tried to do is we tried to set out priorities for each of the committees, taking our cue from the current amount of videotaping going on to these committees. And those priorities are on the last page of this document. But the priority 1 are committees which we believe are very important to be videoed, either broadcast live or videoed and then put online for streaming later. Priority 2s are ones that are kind of, it's desired that it be done if the cable access department has the manpower and the equipment to do it. Priority 3 were basically only by request of the chair. If the chair of the committee thought it would be important that wouldn't be televised, that they would make arrangements with the committee to get that done. And then priority 4 would be those meetings that should not be broadcast. And the only one that we could really think of is not broadcasting, say, town meeting live, because we want people to come to the meeting rather than sit at home and watch it on the TV. So we got a list of all of the committees that we could find basically off of the town website. Turns out there's more committees and boards than there are cows in this town. So there's quite a few that are missing here. But, and we set out with the priorities for both regular and special meetings. And the idea is if we can set a policy on which meetings are going to be broadcast live, which ones are going to be recorded and streamed later, and the kind of the priorities, that's going to allow the cable access department to plan how many people they're going to need, how many sets of equipment. We only have 2 rooms, I believe, where you can broadcast live, this room and one over at the Flint. there will be funding available. We're kind of planning that in the, with the cable TV contracts that are coming up. So that if we needed to put in another room so that we could broadcast more meetings live, we could do that at some future site, be it something being developed at the golf course or in some other spot in town. But it all starts with which meetings are going to get broadcast. And so we tried to set that out based on what we're doing today on the third page. And I guess at this point, I'd like to hand it off to the Board of Selectmen. I think you guys are probably the most appropriate board to be actually setting the policy. And if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. We also have retention and preservation of the records as well. We put a suggested policy in there for retaining them for 10 years. The minutes go on forever, but video of past meetings just kind of clogs everything up. So we thought 10 years would be a reasonable time for that, but it's certainly up to you guys and how you want to do it.
Yeah, great.
No, I think, this is, good work, and, formal, policy can be written and adopted by town administrator's office to present to the selectmen, and, your list of priorities, reasonable makes, sense, and then, we can, make sure to plan to expand our capacities to be able to meet all of the broadcast needs of all of the committees. That's ultimately the goal.
Okay?
Yeah, no, I've looked at your list, I like your list a lot, and what it does help is if you, all of a sudden you say, okay, we now increased our capacity to do 4 hours, who's the next in line? I mean, this is perfect for it, because you don't want competing of, well, somebody might say, well, I always want to see this meeting, but it's really, which has the most interest in town, and which one really would help by being broadcast. So I love this list. I do think it will help in the future as we go and say, okay, we now have more capacity. And also helps in moving meetings around. As you say, we have limited space of where they're going, so maybe you tell a particular committee, well, you're gonna now, because you're gonna be broadcast, you're gonna meet at this location now, and we're gonna move somebody else there. So, no, I think you've done a yeoman's job. All right, so, there's no vote or anything we have to take, we just have to set a policy now.
That's a good first step. Now, I'm actually looking at the concern on one focus of what it is we've got to work with. So.
And it's at least a starting point
Yeah, right, but-
to discuss it and decide, elevate this committee, demote that one, or whatever,
Right,
depending
right.
on,
But it-
who's really interested and which ones are important to put out there. So these are just really suggestions on the way to go about it. We figure if there's a policy set by the Board of Selectmen, it's going to be easier to amend that than if there's a bylaw and everything's frozen from
Great.
now on. So
Yep,
Yeah.
anyway, that was the thinking behind it.
I
great,
agree. Thank you.
Looks great.
thank you very much. All right,
You don't realize how many there actually
Now
are.
I see it all in
yeah,
one
yeah.
condensed
There's a
version.
lot.
That's, all right, our next agenda item is a vote to appoint A&M Noyes to the Cultural Council with a term through June 30th, 2022, and I don't know why I always look to my right, but I'm looking to my right.
Well, I will make that motion, and will be a wonderful addition to the Cultural Council, and hopefully she'll more than complete her term, and which will end on June 30th, 2022.
All right, I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second, do I have any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Passed unanimously. Our next agenda item is to look at the November 5th special town meeting, discussion, positions on articles, and I do like that we have it in a Halloween color for November 5th, but, so, Tanya, did you want to
Well, yes, you do have a copy of the warrant in front of you, and the question for this evening, I think, as we left it from the last board meeting, was whether you wanted to take the opportunity tonight to take a position on these articles.
Well, most of these articles are on petition of us.
Right.
Yes.
So, you know, since we're
We're for 'em.
petitioning, we don't need to take a position because we're petitioning it. I think all of them are on petition of the Board of Selectmen.
That's true. So, yeah, I guess this is your
And the
opportunity for any other questions or comments before we
Well,
go into the.
The only other thing is, you know, if anyone wants to go on record as, you know, being opposed and not being lumped with the rest of the Board of Selectmen.
Nope, I'm for them.
Yeah, I'm good.
No, I don't. I'm fine with
All right,
this.
so there's our position. Our position is we wouldn't have put them on if we didn't want them.
Great.
Have Article 3, have we, what's it looking like? Will we have a number to act on that, or has the firefighter contract?
Right now, we're close to wrapping that up. Our placeholder is 20,000, which I think is going to be right on the money, so.
And you expect to have it wrapped up?
Yeah, all parties are well aware of that, so yes,
Okay,
we're.
very good.
Great. Any questions? All right.
I don't see where it, even in changing any order or not, no.
No, because it's too late, they already printed it, so. Yeah, I mean, when you have 40 articles, it makes a difference for you, but when you get
Right.
this few, it doesn't really make much difference, but. New business, any new business?
Just come to the Pumpkin Festival and have fun.
Right?
Oh, but also, I want to add that if you have and I say it every year, if you have a high school-aged boy or girl that needs to get their community service hours, we are more than happy to put them to work. We could put them to work during the day, during setup. On Saturday, we could put them to work at night. They can dish out apple pie or ice cream, dish out popcorn. We could even use them on Sunday morning to take down anything. So feel free to call myself or call the town hall, and they'll put you in touch with me, and we could use anybody. And even if yourself, you wanted to volunteer, we're more than happy to have volunteers. So, but as of this moment, the weather looks like it's going to be good, so I don't see any chance of it being canceled. But if it did, it would go to Sunday. But right now, it looks like Saturday will be better than Sunday, so I think we're pretty much going for it. Any other? All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, it passes. We stand adjourned.